Then one of the reasons to believe is Nvidia, because it's barely higher for the year. It was coming into this week. It was in the whole group. Jay Woods calls now the lag 7, which is, I guess, maybe a new moniker we'll end up carrying throughout this year. We'll see.
Put that in Investopedia.
Yes, indeed. So let me ask you how they feel about Nvidia now.
Well, it's their top holding, so they want to believe that it's going to continue to produce the types of returns that it's produced over the last few years. And I don't think that's going to happen. And if you look at just the growth and the growth multiples going forward, it would be hard to have that type of return. That said, they stick with the home cooking, the stocks that brought them here. Nvidia looks just like the stock market, pretty much flat, bouncing around a lot over the last couple of months, but essentially flat. And the growth has come from other parts. The big rotation has happened. Individual investors don't necessarily do that rotation, don't make a lot of changes to their portfolios. Some have and gotten some more international exposure, and certainly gold has been a hot ticket among individual and retail investors over the past couple of years. So they've been doing a little bit of that, but basically sticking with their top holdings, even though their top holdings are underperforming the market.
Okay.
Citing solid product momentum and better demand insight into 2027, Citi advised investors to increase their holdings in Nvidia ahead of what it anticipates to be a period of outperformance in the second half of 2026. The company is expected to announce January quarter revenue of $67 billion, above street $65.6 billion, and guide to April quarter sales of $73 billion versus the consensus of $71.6 billion, according to a preview note from Citi analyst Atif Malik. A 34% HH increase in CY2H26 sales compared to 27% in CY1H26 is anticipated by the analyst due to the ongoing ramp of the B300 and the Rubin platform. According to Malik, the majority of investors are focusing on the company's annual GTC conference in mid-March, where Nvidia is anticipated to present an early outlook for 2026-27 AI sales, as well as its inference roadmap utilizing Grok's low-latency SRAM IP. Additionally, the analyst projects a gross margin outlook of around 75% for fiscal 2027 and estimates operating expense increase in the high 30% range, which is comparable to fiscal 2026. Citi maintained that these investments will deliver long-term returns as AI-driven infrastructure demand accelerates cloud revenue growth, notwithstanding worries about rising hyperscaler capital spending. The bank added that while further competition in inference is to be expected, Nvidia should maintain its position as the industry leader in workloads centered on training and reasoning. As demand visibility stretches beyond 2027, Citi maintained its buy rating and $270 target price on Nvidia, stating that the company is appealing and is likely to outperform in 2H26. Investors in Nvidia are being advised by an analyst to remain calm in the face of certain developments that could spark the stock, which has been lacking in momentum this year. CJ Cantor Fitzgerald says Nvidia is only beginning a rack-scale supercycle. Speaking about the continuous ramp of its Blackwell AI chips and related rack systems, as well as the impending Rubin family that is anticipated in the second half of this year, Muse stated in a client interview. Muse anticipates learning that Rubin is on pace for its ramp at Nvidia's quarterly earnings report, which is scheduled for next Wednesday. Considering that its shares are currently priced at 21 times 2026 earnings and 16 times 2027 earnings, he believes Nvidia is in an extremely positive position moving into its fourth quarter earnings announcement. Additionally, Muse stated in an interview on Tuesday that the demand for computing power remains insatiable. He pointed out that even Nvidia's 6-year-old A100 processors are sold out, while prices for its products grow, indicating that supply limitations won't be alleviated very soon. As physical and agentic AI are implemented and embraced, we are still in the early stages of the next industrial revolution, Muse stated. According to Muse, investors are still concerned about Nvidia's position in the AI market. For starters, he pointed out that investors have been concerned that the spending is unsustainable because the stock barely budged in reaction to significant capital expenditure increases at Microsoft and Amazon.com earlier this month. The trillion-dollar network of agreements between Nvidia and a few other AI companies to develop data centers for OpenAI meantime has alarmed the larger market. Additionally, proprietary chip projects like Google's tensor processing units, which it uses to train and operate its Gemini AI models, are becoming a bigger threat to the chip manufacturer. However, Muse believes that this zero-sum perspective is wrong. He added that Nvidia has probably sold out of their 2026 chips and that demand for AI is skyrocketing. According to Muse, the business is currently accumulating backlogs for 2027 and 2028. As a result, he believes that the next earnings release marks the start of a turning point for shares. This year, Nvidia's stock has dropped roughly 3.2%. Following the findings, Muse anticipates that when the first frontier AI models developed on Nvidia's Blackwell chips are released next month, the company's dominance in the semiconductor market will be strengthened. In March, the firm also hosts its annual GPU Technology Conference, which Muse said he anticipates would emphasize the business's leadership in the AI race. Lastly, Muse stated that before the June Computex trade fair, Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang is probably going to revise the company's 2027 data center revenue projections. Regarding those issues, Muse stated that Nvidia's stock is expected to hit $300 at the very least, but he sees a case for it to approach $400 given growth prospects until the end of the decade. His revised price target is over 119% higher than the stock's most recent closing price of $182.81. Join our investor community. Hit subscribe and like to get your daily Nvidia stock insights and tutorials delivered. Since early August 2025, Nvidia's stock has been consolidating and has essentially shown flat price action for the last 6 months. Growth investors' attention has drastically changed in recent months, which is different from what we witnessed in 2022-2024, when everyone believed Nvidia was the market's primary AI beneficiary. Much of the previous excitement has already been factored in, and more people are beginning to wonder things like, what if ROIC on AI capital expenditure is low and hyperscalers start to cancel their orders for Nvidia's offerings shortly? Such inquiries and the ensuing uncertainty that keeps us from conclusively addressing that kind of worry have caused the premium in Nvidia's valuation to vanish. But I don't believe that the present worries regarding Nvidia's position in the market are entirely warranted. Put differently, we observe that the demand side is still robust, and even though the market is trembling due to the recent surge in capital expenditures, Nvidia shouldn't suffer any harm, at least not anytime soon. Every time Nvidia releases new profits, the forward earnings are still adjusted higher, and the company is cheap by traditional standards given the rate of growth expected over the next few years. Ahead of the next earnings report, which will, in my opinion, only increase positive belief and result in another round of sales, EPS projections revisions to the upside, I believe that the current consolidation is a good thing. Since Nvidia is now rather inexpensive, it will become significantly undervalued moving forward if the stock price doesn't change in that scenario. I'm leaving my buy on Nvidia unchanged in anticipation of the next print date, which is February 25th, 2026. Nvidia's core bullish thesis. Prior to diving straight into the general expectations and management's guidance from a few months ago, I would want to talk about a few key drivers that, in my opinion, should contribute to Nvidia's future success. First of all, given the increasing level of competition, Nvidia needs to demonstrate that its AI operating system, which includes more than just chips and racks, can be profitably monetized, that is, at a healthy margin. Because we're moving toward inference from training, which necessitates a lot of computation and dependable ecosystems, exactly what Nvidia has provided with the Blackwell platform, Hopper GPUs H100 downed H200, and Tensor RT LLM software. The end market is still stable, or at least appears to be. In just 5 years, the AI inference TAM should more than treble. What I found appealing about Nvidia's strategy is that they began selling agentic software in addition to raw GPUs after realizing that their systems were undoubtedly better than anything else available at the time. For instance, Nvidia AI Enterprise software now costs about $4,500 per GPU annually. This is a high-margin recurring revenue stream that reduces the company's consolidated COGS because it doesn't require continuous hardware production. It is altering the entire cyclicality narrative that Nvidia, a typical semiconductor business, had in earlier industry cycles. Additionally, they brought in digital workers that are driven by NIMs, which gives the company a moat that I doubt any other business will be able to match or surpass very soon. Nvidia's margins won't be as severely impacted by that, in my opinion, as they might have been in the absence of software layers. When it comes to Nvidia's medium-term ambitions, many people overlook the reality that they essentially control the hardware pace of the whole industry. Why? By late 2026, TSMC is expected to attain a monthly capacity of 150,000 co-WOS wafers, with around 60% of total output going to Nvidia. A strategic monopsony occurs when one client effectively controls the market. In that scenario, competitors of Nvidia, such as AMD, will have to compete for the remaining spillover capacity, even though I also favor its chances. From the Blackwell ramp to its most ambitious project to date, the Vera Rubin R100 architecture, Nvidia will, in my opinion, be directing the industry's development wave and cycle. According to a press release from Nvidia, the Rubin platform will be available by late 2026 and incorporates the Vera CPU 88 unique Olympus ARM cores, the Rubin GPU, NVLink 6 switches, the ConnectX-9 Super NIC, the Bluefield 4 DPU, and the Spectrum 6 Ethernet switch. This stack is significant for Nvidia's customers since it can train various LLMs 3.5 times more effectively and be 5 times more efficient in terms of inference performance. Additionally, it will reduce the cost per token for inference by up to 10 times, requiring only 1/4 of the GPUs currently required by Blackwell. As we observed with the adoption of Blackwell previous time, we may be just a few months away from another upgrade cycle that can increase Nvidia's profitability as the new platform is currently in full production, according to Intral's statistics. Let's now discuss the actual earnings preview. Data shows that analysts have been busy updating the company's future EPS calculations, even though the price has been unchanged for the past 6 months. In certain instances, such as in H1 2029, the consensus numbers have managed to treble. On February 25th, 2026, Nvidia will release its fiscal Q4 2026 results. During the last post-earnings call, the management projected $6,500 billion in revenue with a 75% non-GAAP gross margin. The management's stated intention to maintain the GP margin in the mid-70s during fiscal 2027 undoubtedly increased the analysts' revisions for FY 2027 that we see above. In any case, 43 analysts currently predict $65.8 billion in Q4 sales, which is less than the upper end of management's projections. In fact, it's very intriguing given Nvidia has comfortably outperformed its own high-end guidance in recent quarters. Think back to the previous quarters. The actual revenue for the first quarter of 2026 was $44.06 billion, above the upper end of $43.86 billion, which was the guideline amount of $43 billion. The sales forecast for the second quarter of 2026 was $45 billion. The corporation reported $46.74 billion instead of $45.9 billion, which was around 1.8% more than the higher end. In the third quarter, Nvidia's sales of $57 billion exceeded their projection of $54 billion by more than 3.4%. I'm not saying that previous beats are a guarantee of future ones, but I believe you'll agree that it seems a little odd that today's revenue consensus is $720 million lower than the high-end guidance that had previously been routinely surpassed. We typically observe a premium on top of the high end when there is this degree of regularity. Analysts, in my opinion, have reached a consensus to be cautious ahead of earnings and allow Nvidia to beat again, at least in terms of the top line. Call it a gut feeling, but that's just my theory. Given the GP margin similarities, if we assume that the net income margin is comparable to that of the January quarter of FY 2024, and that Nvidia outperforms the high end of the guidance by 1%, as it has in recent quarters, the company's non-GAAP net income should be approximately $37.50 billion. In the event that there are 24.4 billion shares outstanding at the end of Q4, the implied non-GAAP EPS comes to $1.54, which is 2 cents more than the current EPS consensus. My estimates therefore indicate 66 Cs on $963 in Q4 revenues and around $1.53 Mars in Q4 EPS, which are 2.1% and 1.11% higher than the current consensus, respectively. Although it doesn't seem like much, it is consistent with what we have observed thus far in recent years. If my calculations are correct, analysts are probably going to raise the company's EPS and sales estimates for FY 2027 to 2029. and since the company has already dropped significantly in price following the prior revisions, it is quite probable that it will reappraise higher in response to the analysts' activity. Once the Q4 report, and once everything has settled, I anticipate a final 5% increase in the FY 2027 EPS consensus. Nvidia has set a price target of about $223.49 per share, which is 22 to 23% higher than the current stock price at 25 to 30 times profits. It appears that Wall Street analysts have a higher PT in mind. If Nvidia beats the upcoming earnings, but the management is unable to persuade the market participants that the demand side is sustainable, we'll probably see a post-earnings slump that could last longer than I anticipate. I may be underestimating the level of fear in the market regarding the lack of AI-driven ROIC. Additionally, I might have calculated the Q4 revenues and EPS statistics incorrectly. Since I just made assumptions about the margins and share count for the quarter, I really acknowledge that I'm probably mistaken on both of them. It is typical for any financial model that makes predictions. However, my contributions can be completely incorrect and not in my favor. Therefore, even if management tries to divert attention to the Rubing platform or anything else, the stock price may still fall significantly if Nvidia is unable to double beat once more. Nvidia's stock has become rather inexpensive considering the amount of growth the core company may achieve over the next few years, thanks to its unique market standing and new offers, even though I see some risks for the company and appreciate the market's general concerns. According to my calculations, Nvidia is probably going to beat the next earnings report, and if it does, the stock price will probably rise. I'm still bullish on Nvidia for the medium term because my 12-month PT is 22 to 23% above the current stock price. In order to install 504 Nvidia B200 chips in Canada, Alphaton Capital stated that it has inked and concluded a $30 million lease arrangement for AI compute infrastructure. According to the business, this week the GPUs will be delivered to the data center. According to the company's announcement, the deployment is anticipated to bring in at least $1.2 million per month beginning in March 2026 through the hourly rental of the B200 chips to businesses, AI developers, and the Telegram ecosystem. The average revenue per B200 chip, according to Alphaton, is 4.41 ton per hour for Cocoon AI deployment or $4 to $6 per hour for AI deployment. The company estimates that the total expected monthly revenue from 1,080 chips will reach $3.11 million after its B200 and B300 chips are fully online by April 2026. In less than 3 months, this is Alphaton's third significant GPU deployment. Supported by a 5-year colocation arrangement with North AB in Sweden, the company inked a $46 million deal in January 2026 to purchase 576 Nvidia B300 GPUs, which are expected to be delivered in March 2026. Alphaton launched its first B200 pilot fleet to the Cocoon AI network of Telegram in November 2025. According to Brittany Kaiser, CEO of Alphaton Capital, privacy, sovereignty, and data protection restrictions prevent many AI workloads from operating on big tech infrastructure. Canada's data center will house the 504 B200 GPUs. With over 1 billion monthly active users, Alphaton Capital bills itself as a technology company that specializes on expanding applications within the Telegram ecosystem. Don't forget to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your input helps create a more knowledgeable community where we can all learn and grow together in the world of investing. Stay up to date with the latest market trends, insights, and key updates by subscribing to Investing Tutorial. We're here to help you make smarter investment decisions and stay ahead of the curve.